Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through the ABRSM Theory Grades. Once you've completed your music theory and practice workbook, past papers are an excellent revision resource. I've worked with you from 2014 papers right the way through to 2018 past papers, and now I'm really thrilled to be able to bring 2019 past papers to you as well. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available to download in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best be prepared for your exam and how to make the best use of your time come exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel and do share out the videos. And now we're going to continue with the 2019 Grade 1 Practice Paper A, and so if you turn with me to page 4, we can continue with these questions here. And so question 3 is recognising notes from treble and bass clef. Now if you play piano, that's easy peasy, but if you don't play piano, these might not be your sort of clef of choice. And so if you refer to your PDF document, just for a little bit of help, if you turn to sections D and E, you'll find everything that you need to know there, but do try and do this from memory. Test yourself. It's always better to make your mistakes here. It's better to learn by your mistakes. So have a go and then you can check them afterwards. So the spaces in the treble clef, you can remember the sentence or the word face, F-A-C-E, face and space rhyme, and that sort of gives you a clue, so you can work the others out from this if you just get a little bit stuck. Now middle C, sort of if you imagine it coming to the middle of the piano, and so the bottom of the treble and the top of the bass meet at middle C, and so if it's at the top, middle C is bass clef. That's bass clef C, and the lines are good boys deserve football always, and you can count up A, B, C. And so always work out from something that you feel comfortable with and just figure it out from there if you can't just see it straight off. So the spaces for the bass clef are good boys deserve football always, so that must be bass clef. And then here we just already worked out that the spaces spell face in treble clef, and so that must be treble clef. So here, now the lines in the treble clef are every good boy deserves football, so every good boy, that must be treble clef. And you can also see that they've given you this first one here, treble clef C, one below that is B and B flat, so that's treble clef, so that can still help you here. So here we know that this is middle C at the top of the bass, so one step down from that. If you just picture that, there's your bass clef middle C, one step down from that is B. I do recommend that you just sketch out a piano keyboard to help you through all the questions in your exam. Even if you don't play piano, it's a good visual clue. And so we've worked out that's bass clef, one step below middle C. And so here we have middle C at the bottom of the treble clef, just as we were discussing. So here, this must be bass clef because good boys deserve. We've already seen that that's treble clef, so that's a B in treble clef, that's a D in bass clef. So there. Also, it's worth noticing, notice that the bass clef, everything's sort of dropped down one from the treble clef. Good boys deserve, every good boy deserves. Everything's a line or a space lower in the bass clef as well, if that helps. So here we go. We know the spaces in the treble clef, F-A-C-E. So that's the treble clef. And then here we have good boys deserve football, bass clef. And then we know the spaces in the treble spell face, F-A-C-E, so that must be treble. There we go. So let's press on to the next question. Now this question actually is really a super easy one. You can visualize it to begin with, but then you can see the pattern, you can just kind of get it straight off. We need to draw a circle around the higher note of each of these pairs of notes. So we have here a G natural in the treble, and then we have a G sharp. Now we know that a sharp raises a note by a semitone, so if the sharp raises it, it must therefore be higher regardless of what note it is. And so here again we know that a sharp raises a note by a semitone. We can check it out. We know that this is bass clef, good boys deserve football, so we have an F sharp which is higher than F natural. So that just sort of checks it out, but we know that a sharp raises a note regardless of what note it is, so we know that the sharp must be higher. Now a flat lowers a note, so here we have good boys deserve football always, we have an A natural and we have an A flat. And so if a flat lowers a note, the natural must therefore be the highest of the two. So regardless of what note it is, a natural is higher than the flattened version of that same note. So same again here, we know that the natural is going to be higher. Here we have a treble clef B flat, so of course the natural is higher than the flat. So here we know that the natural is going to be higher than the flat. We have an E flat, so we know that the E is higher. So we've worked out the notes, but we know that the principle remains sharps are higher than naturals, and naturals are higher than flats. And now we're going to be doing the same sort of thinking, but going the other way. And this time we're drawing a circle around the lower note of the pair. So we know that a flat lowers. So here we have an A flat, all cows eat grass. Might help you to remember the bass clef spaces, A, C, E, G. So we have an A flat, and then the A natural is higher by a semitone. So we know a flat lowers by a semitone, that must be the lower one. It's just a matter of reading the question carefully, make sure we're going in the right direction. So here we know that we have a B natural and a B flat. A flat lowers by a semitone, so that must be the lowest. We know that a sharp raises, and so the natural must be lower. We have a C sharp, and so therefore C natural must be the lowest of the pair. Good boys deserve D in the bass clef, and then a D sharp is higher. We've raised it, so the natural must be the lower of the pair. And then here we have F-A-C-E, E flat must be lower than E natural. So that's soon done. So then, now we are counting intervals, and this is really easy if you can count to 8. However, sometimes, oh, I'm getting a bit far off there. There we go. Sometimes it's a bit more tricky to count to 8 than you'd perhaps think. The important thing is to always count the lowest given note as 1. The only way you can go wrong is if you forget to count this lowest given note as 1 and begin counting upwards straight away. That's where you go wrong. We need to count 1, 2, 3, space, line, space. After that, we're fine. The other thing to think about is we are writing a harmonic interval. A harmonic interval comes together one on top of the other like a harmony. So if you follow their example, you won't go wrong. A melodic interval comes one after the other like a melody. So just make sure you follow their example. So here we're counting from this low note C, we've got to count up a fourth. Counting this as the given 1, the first step of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you want to, we're in C major. If you really want to just double check you've not gone a step out, you can always just sketch out your degrees of the scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We're told we're in C major. We're always counting from note C as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so C to F is a fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, F is the fourth. So you know you've got a note F, you know you're not wrong. So if you want to just check you've not gone a step out, you can just look at it that way as a double check. So we count in an octave or an eighth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 is the B, 8 is the C. We've gone C to C, just got to make sure you get the right octave. Although you'd have so many lines, you're not likely to go too far off there. So here we go, counting a 6 from the C in the bass clef. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's a note A. Good boys to football always. And we can see that 6 is A, so that's correct. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 takes us to B. We're in treble clef and we can see B is the 7th next door to the octave. And 5 here from middle C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 takes us to G, and we know that's correct. So you can always just double check it that way. So that's soon done. I do hope that's helpful to you. I hope it's helping you with your studies. If you can give me a like, that would be really super. And please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please do also visit sharonbale.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.